is going on? We are back with more ASMR NBA content. I do apologize. I wasn't unable to get any NBA discussions out for the second round, so instead of doing like our predictions, I'm just gonna do like a recap. And you guys know, honesty is the best policy when it comes to this. For the round two, I'm just gonna tell you my real predictions, even if the team I chose lost. I have no problem, because I like to see like how I actually did in terms of record-wise, in terms of how I predicted the playoffs. So, based off the first round, let's do a quick recap. I'm 5-3. Like I said in my last prediction video, I got the only series I got wrong in that first round were the Pacers, Timberwolves, and the Clippers series, because I thought the Clippers would beat the Nuggets in 7 and they lost in 7. Alright, so for round 2, I did pick the Timberwolves to beat the Golden State Warriors. Quickly, the reason why I chose them is just because I just felt like they were the deeper team from top to bottom. Now, I could be wrong if Stephen Curry played. It looks like, based on them 13 minutes, if Steph Curry played, it could have won 6 or 7, and the Timberwolves might have had a problem. So we could have been wrong if Steph was healthy, but he got injured, so we would have got that series correct. So I'm counting it as 6-3. The Cavaliers against the Pacers, I got that series wrong. I actually had the Cavaliers advancing to the finals. Before the playoffs started, I was thinking that the finals would be Cavs Thunder. That was like my first original thought when the playoffs like first started. So that one is wrong. I thought the Cavs would be too much for the Pacers. I thought Donovan would outplay Tyrese. That clearly did not happen. Well, it happened in some games, but Garland didn't do anything. Jared Allen, I guess the lights were too bright again. So that makes me 6-4. And then it was the Knicks and the Celtics. I got that one wrong because I picked the Celtics to win in 6. So that makes me 6-5. Yes, that makes me 6-5. And then the Thunder played the Nuggets. I did pick the Thunder to win that in 7. I did not think the Nuggets. I was hoping the Nuggets won because it would have been an easier matchup for the Timberwolves to make it in the next round. But yeah, okay, so we did get that correct. So I think we're 7-5 right now. Dang, that's not as good as I thought I would be going into the conference final. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie. I did pick the Timberwolves to win this series in 7, and I know they're the underdogs. The Thunder are clearly the better team. I think it'll be more of a matchup thing, and the reason why I'm picking the Timberwolves to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder is because of Julius Randle, not Anthony Edwards, surprisingly, as much as we support him on this channel. As you guys know, he's my second favorite player, but that's not about Ant. Well, he has to play decent. He can't score 18 like he did in game 1. But assuming that Ant gets his like between 25 to 30 points per game, I think Julius is the key. Because there's no true answer to him defensively. He's a little too big and strong for Hartenstein, even though that's probably the best matchup. I think he's too tall and strong for Jalen Williams. I did see they put Alex Caruso, and that seemed to be a good option for them in the second half. I don't think that's going to work over a series of games. Even though it looked like a good strategy in game 1, I don't think they can survive an entire series of constantly putting Alex Caruso on Julius Randle. I would save Alex Caruso more so for Ant-Man if I were them. But who am I? I'm not the coach of the Thunder, and they're up 1-0, so it looks like he has some of the answers figured out. But yes, I do think the Timberwolves can win this in 7. Like I said, I think the Thunder should be the favorites. I think they have more consistency on their bench, which is why, once again, I think they're supposed to win this series. I don't think that the Timberwolves will shoot that bad again. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think they'll ever really light it up because I respect the Thunder defense too much. So I'm not gonna say that they'll have a game where they shoot like 50% from 3, but it damn sure won't be like 20 or 15%. So I do expect somewhat better shooting. Anthony Edwards, he has to attack more. You're not going to get a second half again with Anthony Edwards with 0 points again. So I'm glad he got that terrible second half out of his system in the first half. I expect them to dominate the boards more so than they did in game one. And when I say them, I mean the Timberwolves. I expect them to come out with more aggressiveness. They are the bigger team, so I think they have to use more Rudy Gobert. I can't believe I'm saying this. They have to use a little bit more Rudy Gobert and maybe just a little bit less Nas Reed, especially if Nas Reed isn't hitting his jump shot like he was. I do think they have enough bodies to put on SGA. As you can see in the first half, they matched up very well with SGA. They held him to like 2 of 13 or 2 of 12 from the field. They were doing an excellent job of frustrating him, making him take contested shots. The only thing that they did wrong really was they fouled too much. And I think they'll do a little bit better job of not fouling SGA over the course of the series. But another reason why I think they can beat them is that the Thunder don't really have a secondary playmaker. Hartenstein can pass, but he passes more outside of the post. I'm talking about somebody who can set up the table for the entire offense. If you double team and switch to a zone on SGA, which they're probably gonna do at some point, I don't know what the Thunder have that you can rely on consistently, keyword consistently, to run offense through in terms of setting the table for others. Caruso can't put the ball on the floor and distribute. Luke Dort damn sure can't do it. They were treating that man like 07 Rondo, sagging off him defensively. Jalen Williams can do it in moments, but he's like Jaylen Brown. He's going to end up having too many turnovers by the end of the game. He might be able to run the offense for a few minutes or a quarter or a half, but I don't think he can consistently run an offense as the core center focal piece of an offensive unit. I'm looking at Cason Wallace. I mean, he has handles. He's a good shooter, can score, but in terms of elite playmaking or just setting up others, I don't know. I don't look at Cason Wallace. Maybe I'm sleeping on him, but I really think if they put 2 on the ball, in terms of just Shea, who are they gonna give the ball to run the offense? So I really think the Timberwolves need to do that further, and I expect them to do that. So I'm going Timberwolves in 7. I think they had their worst shooting night of the series out of their system. They might have one more night where they're a little bit off. But yeah, okay, so now let's move on to the Eastern Conference. Now, my aunt, it was her birthday, so shout out to my aunt. Now, one of my older aunts, she's a Knicks fan, and she's well aware that I'm a Celtics fan, so she was definitely talking that ish to me at the table. I had to just sit there and take it, but I did tell her I want the Knicks to make it to the finals because I think that would be great for basketball. The NBA would need that, especially if it was an Ant-Man first Knicks series with, the Knicks and Timberwolves trade. There's so many storylines that would be so lit if the Timberwolves meet the Knicks. So I told her that. I was like, yo, I know I'm a Celtics fan, but I hope y'all make it. But yes, I'm actually going to choose the underdog again. I promise you I'm not choosing them because I like them. I generally think both underdogs will beat the team that's supposed to win, similar to how similar to how the Thunder are the more balanced, better, deeper team. I think the Knicks will upset the Pacers. I feel like the Pacers are supposed to win. I feel like a lot of people are saying Pacers in 6. I'm choosing the Thunder. I'm choosing the Knicks in 7. I just like the toughness and the makeup of the Knicks wing players more than I like the toughness and just the makeup of the Pacers wing players, even though I know they have Siakam, if you want to count him as a wing, or Naismith. I know they got Benedict Mathurin, I think it's Mathurin, however you say his name. They're decent, but I still like the Knicks wings more. I think Jalen Brunson is better than Tyrese Halliburton, and I think he will outplay him majority of the series. I would say, let's just say it's a 7-game series because I'm picking Knicks in 7. I think Jalen Brunson will outplay Tyrese Halliburton 4 or 5 out of the 7 games. So I think they have the advantage at the point. I think they have the best closer. I think Carl is better than Miles Turner, even though Miles Turner isn't that far off from him. I mean, I would put Cat a tier higher than Miles Turner, but Miles Turner isn't that much worse than Cat. from making the most threes is gonna win. And I think the Knicks will just be the more clutch team. I trust their scoring more. I mean, the Pacers probably have a little bit more of a free-flowing offense overall, but I think in crunch time, if the games are close, I trust the Jalen Brunson Carl pick and roll more than just Tyrese Halliburton trying to set the table up for everybody. I think the Knicks are very hungry, considering they haven't made it to the NBA Finals in 50 years, and they know how bad the city wants that, and they have home court advantage, so MSG is going to be giving them a lift. Carl cannot play soft. It's really gonna. I think the key factors are OG Anunoby and Cat. Because like I said, I think Jalen Brunson is the constant. I think he will consistently outplay Tyrese Halliburton. Not that Tyrese Halliburton will play bad. I expect him to still average 18 and 10 or 20 and 9. I just expect Brunson to get like average 27, 4, and 8 or 9. So, now the Pacers definitely do have the depth advantage, just like the Thunder probably have a more consistent depth advantage than the Wolves. However, the Knicks are going to play a short lineup. They're going to have the starters playing 40 plus minutes anyway, so the starters are going to be out there for the majority of the time, and they're already used to playing a large amount of minutes. And the Knicks, they have McBride off the bench who can create his own shot, feisty defender. They got like 2 players who are like okay-ish off the bench. Like I said, the Pacers should win this, but I'm going with the underdogs in both series. I'm probably gonna go 0-2 in this. And what's my record? I'm 7-5. So if I go 0-2, I'll be 7-7. So I'll still be even. So I'm gonna take the risk, man. I'm taking the underdogs in both series. And it's not just because I really want that Knicks-Wolves matchup. I genuinely think both teams have a chance to get the upset. And I'm actually going to say both of them actually do it. The Knicks have a better chance because they have home court advantage. But yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. My next video will probably be a 2K video. And then I'm going to do my MVP reaction video. SGA did officially win MVP. I told you guys. Basically by late December, early January, he was my MVP. I was voting for him this year. Well, I can't literally vote for him, but if I did, I would vote for him. And it really comes down to, I'm just going to sum it up. Jokic and SG both had historical seasons. I don't have time to debate which season was more historical. That's what everybody's trying to do. Oh, Jokic was like a level 10 historical, and Shea was only level 8 or level 9 historical rating in terms of how historical his season was. Bro, in 20 years, 10 years, no one's going to compare them like that. They're just going to call them both historical seasons. The big difference and separated from me was one was historical and one was historical and had the number 1 seed the entire year. It's just that simple for me. I'm not going to grade 2 S tier seasons and be like, oh, this is a level 10 S season, S tier S season, and this is a level 9 S tier. No, they're both S tier seasons. They're both historical seasons. They're both seasons that probably won't be replicated. Maybe SGA's season has a slight chance of being more likely to be replicated, but they're still S tier seasons both. And one guy had the number 1 seed the entire year. The other guy didn't, so I'm rewarding the guy who had the youngest team and had his team the number 1 seed the entire year. So that's how I'm doing it. It sucks that he got an MVP before Anthony Edwards and Tatum. And he has a good chance to win the NBA Finals, man. If the Timberwolves do not beat the Thunder will win the Finals. So I'm picking the Thunder if the Thunder do beat the Timberwolves. But I got Timberwolves in 7 and Knicks in 7. Those are my 2 final predictions.